Who is with Vinny Fiorenza? There's a lot he doesn't know. There's a lot he wants to know. This is a podcast where he tries to learn from people who know things he doesn't. He'll be focusing on people from the worlds of business, entertainment, and the arts. His guests are people he finds fascinating and that he believes will bring value to others. Join him on the journey on finding out who is.
One of the things that drives me nuts is actors having their damn fingers on the triggers. It is a clear-cut sign that you have no idea what you're doing. I joined the military, went into the Army. 9/11 actually happened in the middle of my boot camp training. So my whole little rebellious, join the Army because of my parents thing turned into a real thing because now we're going to war. Entrepreneurship is literally being dropped in the middle of the ocean with no map and no compass and having you find land. You know what? If I want a Hollywood actor to save me, it would be Keanu Reeves.
Welcome, everybody. We're here with Paul Peng today. Very excited for this episode, a necessary episode. Let's get into it, Paul. So I'd love for the audience to know where you're from and your upbringing and things like that. Just get into that real quick.
I was born in Taiwan, came here when I was 1, so technically I'm an immigrant, but I don't remember anything about, the little tiny island.
Yeah, right.
Grew up in Monterey Park, came here. Came to Cerritos, actually. Grew up in Cerritos.
Cerritos in California, right?
California.
Yeah.
So I've been in California my whole life. Joined the military at 17 and a half.
Is that like the earliest you could?
Well, it's called a delayed entry program.
Okay.
So it's like you have to be 18 to join, but what the military does, if you want to join and you want to join before, you got to get parental consent, and then you basically ride out your senior year, and then the minute you graduate, you go to basic training. So I did that to piss off my parents. There was no patriotism involved, at least not initially. I literally did it because I just wanted to piss off my parents. I was not exactly the best teenager in the world.
Yeah. Tell us about that. What were you like as a teenager? Like, what were some of the wacky things you were getting into?
Oh, God, I hope my mom doesn't ever watch this.
That's great, man.
I'd be that kid that would, literally, open the window and take out the mesh,
and
then figure out a way to put it back, hop over the wall, and my buddy be picking me up on the other side of the wall. We would go to some, back then it was a rave party thing.
Gotcha,
go to a rave party or a club or whatever, and come back at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, hop back in, and then pretend like I slept all night and go to school the next day. Yeah, even though I'd be tired as hell. That's the kind of teenager I was like.
It's funny. Most of the time, when you hear about successful people from the military, that's how they were. A lot of the times, that's how they were growing up. A lot of people I researched,
a big pain in the ass. Yeah, that's why.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't want kids because I already know exactly how they're going to turn out. If it's anything like me, it'll drive me half up a wall.
That's great.
I joined the military, went into the Army,
Army.
9/11 actually happened in the middle of my boot camp training. So my whole little rebellious, join the Army because of my parents thing turned into a real thing because now we're going to war. And it literally happened smack in the middle of of my basic training. So I came back and did whole that. In 2003, got deployed to Iraq. Our unit was actually in Iraq. I think it was 12 hours after the first tanks rolled through. So we weren't, I wasn't the tip of the spear, but I was the shaft.
Wow.
The very top of the shaft, right? Ran a prison camp, did that for a year, came back, finished my bachelor's, got deployed again in 2008. So same place, Iraq, twice. First one was a year deployment. Second one was a year and a half.
Wow. Thank you, man. Wow.
Thank you.
No, of course, man.
And I worked got my master's. So I used a GI Bill, got my master's. And then worked at the Port of Long Beach in LA for 10 years as a manager. Left that, started my company in 2019, Sentri Institute, right here.
Yes. We love Sentri.
Yeah, Sentri. And originally it was just an idea of just getting security training. And then as I kind of, tripped and fell on my entrepreneurial route, I kind of slowly started building. And again, I actually learned a lot of lessons during that.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure there's a lot of lessons. Going back to the military, what did you possibly learn during those years that you were able to use now?
Honestly, dealing with people, right? Because
It's
it's not like in a civilian war you can fire people if they don't do what you want to do. If you're in a war zone,
or fire at them.
Right,
I'm joking.
I mean, like, if you're in the military, like, if somebody is not doing a good job, you can't just say you're fired and send them home. There's no home to go to in a war zone. You're gonna send them on a plane, and no, it doesn't work that way, right? So you have to figure out ways to work with them. You have to talk with them, and believe it or not, it actually helped me quite a bit dealing with the union when I was working with the Port of Long Beach, because it was the same exact thing. We had to manage longshoremen, so you don't talk to them like you would like a normal employee at like a corporation. They have a lot of rights that you can't step on. And they know their rights, so it's you can't play that card. So there's a lot of diplomatic relations that kind of have to happen to kind of get things done. But in terms of my business, how I helped my business was just honestly not giving up and just sticking to it. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of times I've been doing this since 2019. So what? 21, 2, 3, almost 5 years. Wow, almost 5 years now. There were plenty of times along the way where I wanted to just give up.
Wow. Yeah, I know how it goes. Yeah, entrepreneurship's not an easy game, man.
Yeah,
especially like I don't know, sometimes people don't always have the support that they might need for everything.
Well, I didn't have any support.
Yeah, tell us how did it start? Where the idea stem from?
Honestly, it was my ex-fiance and an Uber driver.
Oh, it's great, but it's funny. It's funny where you get your inspiration.
It was an Uber driver, and then my ex-fiance was like, "Hey, you know what? You'd be really good at this." I'm like, "Huh. Let's give it a shot." And actually, I have to give a lot of credence. I don't think Robert Kiyosaki is ever going to see this, but if he does, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that was actually the book that I read, and that gave me the push to actually do it.
Yeah, I've read that a couple times.
Yeah.
I love that. It gives me inspiration. Him personally,
Robert,
too.
If you ever see this, I want to thank you. Okay.
Yeah, we thank you, Mr. Kiyosaki. Thank you so much. When you first did start it, what like were you offering? What was it like? Explain the Sentri Institute for
we offer a variety of things. So our slogans kind of changed a lot because, like I said, you don't there is no manual to start a business. It's not like you got to do A and B and C and D. Like people that are process minded have a very hard time with a business for a reason because they're very process minded.
Yep.
Entrepreneurship is literally it's like being dropped in the middle of the ocean with no map and no compass and having you find land. That's probably like in a nutshell what it feels like.
Yep. Yeah.
You're going to have to start finding your nuggets along the way. And if you happen to have like people that are willing to help you, treat them like a life raft. You grab onto them because it makes it just a little bit easier, right? Our slogan now is "We save lives through training." It took a while to get there. We were all over the place.
Where'd you start? Can you give me an old one?
It was like something really long and just not working, but I needed something. I needed some sort of catchphrase.
So we save lives through training.
Yeah. So we offer, all levels of security training. We're certified through the state of California for security training for guard card, baton permits, exposed firearm permits.
I've had my guard card at some point.
Yeah, I think everybody has. It's like usually like that first job that people get. It's I don't know, to be a guard. Okay. We do the first aid certifications, OC spray certification. We do active shooter training. We do, again, everything. It all revolves around training, right? Yeah. We also do concealed carry licenses. So we're certified through LA County Sheriff's Department as well as Orange County Sheriff's Department. And I get this a lot, actually, with not so much for Orange County, but for LA County residents. Every time not every time, but a lot of times when I meet up or I meet somebody from LA County, one of the first things when I tell them I do the concealed carry, they're like, "Oh, man, that's so awesome. I wish I can get one." And I'm like, well, "What county do you live in?" It's like, "Oh, I live in LA County." I'm like, "You can get one." You're like, "Oh, I heard it's impossible." I'm like, "It's not because I'm certified to teach it." Right. Yeah. So
talk to Paul.
Well, like, how do you do it? And then, I kind of point him in the right direction. So like, there's a lot of the way, and it's interesting too, because it's not the person's fault that they don't know. It's by design because of the Constitution, they can't actually flat out say, "I'm not going to issue a concealed carry license," but they want to give the perception that you can't get it, right? So they put all these barriers and misinformation in the way to kind of confuse people, which is a lot of times when I tell people, it's like, just go straight to the source, Google it. On top of that, what else do we do? We do military advisors on movies. We've been in 2 so far. it's kind of crazy. Like one of those things that we also did, we also write articles and we provide, this is something on the side that I've been doing. I want to help the next, either veteran or not, help start their business, at least the beginning stages of it, right?
Wow.
Try to explain, because look, man, if it was like, like I said, I felt like I was dropped in the middle of the ocean. I was told to find land, right? At least what I want to do is give them a compass.
Yeah.
Maybe still drop in the middle of the ocean, middle of nowhere, but at least now they have a compass where they can just swim.
They got one floaty on their arm.
Right, and all they need is to not give up. As long as they don't give up, they're going to get there.
So would you say like these type of like, I don't know, the way that you are about this and how you feel, like, is that like why you started it? Like you wanted to be able to kind of like give back through your services,
the business or the business,
but yeah, both. But I meant the business mainly.
Honestly, the business was because I think some of your viewers are probably going to laugh at this. I think I hit a midlife crisis because so at the port I was doing fairly well.
Okay.
I was making really good money, really big bonuses every year. So I was happy, right? I had a house, I had everything, right? Because bought for by the money I made at the ports. And I literally hated going to job every day, going to work every day. The only reason that kept me there was the money, right? And now when I tell people money isn't everything, it really means money isn't everything. Because trust me, I know a lot of people besides me, or back then, that had a lot of money that were miserable.
Yeah, I know a few.
I just wanted something different, and I've always wanted to teach, but I didn't know what to teach.
No.
I mean, I did it in the military, but it's like, okay, well, I'm going to teach people. How do I get customers? How do I market? What is marketing? How do I brand? What the hell is that? Website? How do you do that?
Yep.
Writing a business plan. Whoa, crap. So there was like, it literally felt like, like when you're you're like level 1 character in like a video game, and then like your very first task is to beat like level 10 people, and nobody tells you how to do it.
Yeah.
But there is a way.
Nope.
And you just like,
With the Sentri Institute, what are some of the clients that, what's like a typical client? I'm sure there might not be an exact typical client, but like, well, who are the people that you bump into?
It varies, right? So we get, actually, no, it doesn't vary. We have a lot of our clients. So for example, one of our hottest courses that we've offered is the concealed carry. Like,
okay.
I like to say I'm very, very blessed. Our business is, knock on wood.
Yeah, right.
It's been doing extremely well over the last year. It's still doing well.
Nice.
Even with the changes from LA County that's been coming from the sheriff, the new sheriff. Our typical client, we get a lot of real estate agents.
Wow. You wouldn't think that.
We get a lot of business owners, real estate agents. I have had judges, LA County and Orange County judges. I've had assistant district attorneys, even all the way down from San Diego.
Wow.
I even asked I can't say any of their names because of confidentiality reasons, but I've had my company's been spreading around in the correctional facilities in LA County because I got I think a good portion of their department to go through our course.
Wow.
Certain police reserve officers to go through our course, so it varies,
yeah.
Right? I didn't think like police officers would like, for example, the first reserve police officer I got, I'm like, why are you taking my course? You don't need a CCW. You can carry one. And he goes, oh, I'm not currently serving one. So reserve officers, they fall under a different, I guess, category or something. So I'm learning as I go too.
There's so many rules and laws.
Yeah, but I mean, we get a lot of county workers. LA, Orange County, both. Wow.
Yeah,
a lot of county workers. I even had a state representative. I can't say which one because they're very, very.
Hush, hush.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Right? Nobody wants to know like that they're doing this. But it's a state representative that has come taking a few courses.
How is the concealed carry process like over here versus maybe some other states? Like, is it easier, different?
Every state has their own rules. When it comes to your concealed carry, as far as the process and price, it's definitely easier and cheaper to get it in Orange County versus, not just Orange County, but like Riverside County, San Bernardino County. It's generally cheaper.
It's all in California.
Right. But like, for example, in LA County, where it's pretty well known they don't like firearms, they make it as stringent as possible. But I can't go too much into it because there's certain regulations I have to follow.
All right.
But I will say that the rules are set by the county sheriff.
Understood.
So that's why, like, an Orange County sheriff can set their own policy. LA County Sheriff sets their own policy. San Bernardino County Sheriff sets their own policy. Kern County, San Diego County. So every sheriff, they have general guidelines they have to follow. But as far as policy, they can pretty much have free reign as long as it doesn't violate the constants of the law or the Constitution. So, for example, in LA County, I can point them in the right direction, but I can't help them.
You were telling me a couple of weeks back when we were chatting about the work source partnership with the vets and the WEX.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that our company's been doing. So
this is awesome.
We actually became a certified training provider for the state of California, Orange County, and basically state of California and Orange County and LA specifically. It's called the CalJobs is the state program, and then the localized program is called iTrains.
Got it.
Right. I don't know what the exact what it stands for. I did, and I just don't remember. But what it means is that people that are unemployed, like these different work sources. Every county has their specific work source. They're all called different names. Like South Bay is South Bay Work Investment Board. I just butchered that. OC is OC Workforce Solutions. LA, I don't know what LA County is, but I don't really work because LA is kind of far from me. But I mainly stick with Orange County and the South Bay area. But we do all the trainings for security. We certify whoever's unemployed or underemployed at no cost. So let's say, like, if you had a cousin or whatever that was a veteran and he wanted to, and he was a combat veteran, for example. I'm just using combat veterans as an example. And he wanted to become an executive protection agent, right? The certification alone will cost thousands of dollars, which he may or may not even have, right? And even after he gets it, there's no guarantee he'll get a job, right? So what we do is we help him along as training. Well, as the work sources, what they do is, because I'm the training provider that works with the work source. Let's say he comes to me first, I'll refer them to the work source. He has to fill out a bunch of paperwork, and he gets. He gets intaked, and then they contact me to do the training. Once they do the training, they get certified. And what the good part about this is that I have different partners and different security companies all over the area.
I told you I got a few for you.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, like I said, for one of the companies, Dark Horse Services that I'm partnered with, it's a veteran-owned company, veteran and law enforcement-owned company. Yeah. They need 60 people. Like yesterday.
Yeah, most of them do.
And but the thing is that they're paying well. So I only partner with people that pay close to a sustainable wage, not a living wage. A living wage is the whole minimum wage thing. Yeah. A sustainable wage where you actually have disposable income, right? So they need 60 people. I think right now it's $22 an hour for unarmed and $30 for armed, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, solid.
But we hook them up with a job at no cost. So they basically go from unemployed, trained, certified at $0 to them. And by the way, some of these work stores even buy lunch for them, so they don't have to pay for food. And if they have, if you need housing, if you need gas money, if you need whatever, they have all these different resources from all these different grants along from federal governments and state grants that help this individual, right? So for those of you that are unemployed, you don't have to start wandering different places. There's all these different work sources. If you have a county, if you live at a city or whatever, most cities and counties have work sources that'll actually help you. So,
nice.
Get to them, man. You just have to Google it. I mean, the city does a really crappy job promoting it, so that's why nobody ever knows about them. But they're there. Yeah,
it's good to know. When I heard that, I was like, that was pretty impressive resources that we, the people who need it have access at their fingertips.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you. So through this process with the Sentri Institute, you've bumped into some new opportunities, like you've been an armourer on sets. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about those experiences, like actors, what it was like. You might even have the chance to be on screen.
Honestly, if it wasn't even for the chance, for the whole armor gig with the whole thing even starting, I probably wouldn't even sit here talking to you right now.
It's true, yeah.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago that I'd be doing this, I would have laughed in your face.
Like even being on a microphone like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because you're a natural, too. It's awesome. Right.
I would have laughed in your face. I'm like, you're out of your damn mind. Honestly, I'll have to give a shout out to Chris Levine because I actually give him a lot of credit
great guy.
for all this. only because we met him at it was at a Six Gun Sal red carpet event, and we just got randomly invited to that event. Showed up, saw this black leather jacket, sunglass wearing dude sitting next to me. He was the only young guy in the entire place. So I'm like, I'm going to sit next to him because he's the closest to my age group. At least that's what I think it is, right? And it happens to be Chris Levine. I talked to him, and then we struck up a conversation. We liked each other a lot. He asked me what I did, and I told him, and he was like, "Oh, wait, I think we need somebody." And I'm like, "Need somebody for what?" And he was telling me, "Oh, we need somebody on set as an armourer."
It's a good impression, by the way.
I'm like, "What's that?" And I didn't even know what that was.
That's funny.
I'm like, "What's that?" Right? And because I deal in the real world, I don't deal in the Hollywood scene, so my terminology is just not there.
Yeah,
right?
Believe me, there's a lot of it.
He sent him a contact, and I think within a few days, I worked with the director for my first movie, which is called The 4 Points. It was directed by Raul Perez, great guy.
Nice.
And the writer is Kevin Kelly.
Nice.
I really hope I got that last name right.
Might be Irish.
Work with some great actors, Dominique, Marcel, but there's a bunch of other different actors, so we were an armor on set. We were trying to explain to actors how to handle weapons.
Nice.
And, some of the policies that I had, but the things I would explain why.
Tell them about the policy with the bathroom or whatever, because I remember you telling me.
So when I was an armor on set, we had no live firearms on set, right? All of our weapons were airsoft, but they looked real, and that was the idea. The whole idea was that you have the CO2 cartridge inside where the magazine would be, so that when you fire the weapon, it would have the recoil effect, but nothing but air would come out. Right. And then what they would do is they would add the flash and the shelling in post-production, or at least that's what the plan was. We had several policies on set. So for example, I would have the director and then the first AD, they would have their safety briefing or whatever. And then I made sure that they included me in the safety briefing, especially when it came to firearms. So once the first AD finished her spiel, she would call me on, then I would just give a general spiel hey, always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire, go over the safety rules. Keep your finger off the trigger, treat your firearms as loaded, always be aware of what's behind your target, and never point anything you're willing to destroy, right? So the 4 general basic safety rules, but we would also explain things like, hey, if you're going to, don't play around with firearm, right? We're in a public space. Some people don't know that this is a fake firearm. Don't walk outside. Yeah. Right, it's you would think it's common sense, but it doesn't always hit everybody, right? And the most important thing I would always focus on, I would talk about different scenarios and make sure that people understood. I wanted people to really understand to treat this like an actual real weapon, even though that they know it's fake. I kind of explain it in a way where if you treat this like an actual weapon, you're gonna, if whatever project you're gonna go to in the future, you're gonna get a lot more respect, and people are gonna look at you differently. Because you're treating it as you show that you have some experience dealing with firearms. You may or may not get roles from it. As far as the bathroom thing is that I would always say that to actors or actresses that are holding the airsoft weapons, that if you go to the bathroom, check in the weapon to me. Yeah. Okay. And the reason I say that is because, look, there were so many people on set. I don't know everybody.
Exactly, man.
As nice as I'm sure people are, I don't know if somebody came in with an actual weapon and switched it out with a fake one.
Yeah, why take that chance?
Bathroom, right? So it's just one of those things where because I'm in the security industry, and I always think security.
Yeah, we need people like you everywhere,
liabilities. Man. The last thing we need is another incident on set where somebody didn't check, the ammunition, whether it's live or a dud.
Definitely. And thank God we have people like you on sets. And I actually went shooting with Paul. It was an amazing experience. I felt very safe. He, made everyone very calm, and honestly learned a lot very quickly too. Yeah. With that being said, I think actors should do this, but just explain why actors should,
It's several reasons, right? And look, and one of the things, the reason I'm giggling is because I know that the whole, term firearms and all that is a very touchy subject, right? Of course, I'm not immune to that. But the worst thing you want is to start believing false information. One, you want to be, the actor's goal is to always bring their performance to life. And in order to do that, you have to be everything, right? If you're, for example, Top Gun Maverick, right? Tom Cruise and all
Miles
those
Teller,
actors, they went through several weeks of actual training because they wanted them to feel what it felt like. Because you can't, it's one thing to act on camera, but it's another thing to feel it and know what it felt like to kind of draw that in the moment to kind of put that on screen. So if you've never held a firearm before, it's going to show on screen. Trust me, I see it all the time.
But yeah, Paul definitely know.
I see it all the time. And one of the things that drives me nuts, and I'll say it right now, is actors having their damn fingers on the triggers.
Yeah, dude.
It is a clear-cut sign that you have no idea what you're doing. You maybe got 30 seconds of training, if that, before you actually shot the scene. Holding the weapon's another one. Jesus. I can't tell you how many times.
It took me a couple of courses.
Right, but the thing is, like, certain actors, they're supposed to be playing, like, elite FBI agents, but they're holding a firearm like they just literally grabbed it 5 seconds ago. An actor has to kind of be a chameleon and maybe not know everything about everything, but know a little bit about everything just enough to kind of get that through the screen. So my whole thing was that if you're going to be in an action film, if you're going to play a veteran or a police officer, or heck, even a freaking gangster on screen, there has to be certain things you have to know.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I always refer to is the movies of the late 80s and 90s, even to the early 2000s, where they all had their guns pointing up and their fingers on the trigger, and they're kind of going like this, and I'm just like...
So funny.
Obviously, it's not going to be totally realistic because, being on set and working with the actors and working with the director and kind of like, where do we go a little realistic and where do we go fantasy, right? Like I think in the last maybe 5-6 years, I think the best combination that I've ever seen, and again, I'm just my opinion, I don't want people like hating me for this, is John Wick.
But Keanu Reeves probably put in the time and
I've also seen him train in real life, and I've watched his YouTube videos. He's good. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, and I've watched how he maneuvers. I watch how he transitions. I watch his trigger, his finger discipline with the trigger. I've watched how he squeezes the trigger. I even go slow motion. I watch how he squeezes the trigger. He's doing everything about as good as I've ever seen. Wow, and it shows in the movie.
Yeah, it can't beat that. Yeah, the training goes a long way.
That does.
Yeah, obviously he's put a lot of time in, his trainers, the whole nine. I guess we would feel safe around Keanu Reeves for this.
I would. If you know what? If I want a Hollywood actor to save me, it would be Keanu Reeves.
That's good to know. Take notes. But we were speaking before the show about something you're getting into soon. The California Jobs Challenge.
Yeah, so the California Jobs Challenge, it's a brand new security pathway program. We're working it in partnership with OC Workforce Solutions, the workforces that we talked about. Yes. So the California Jobs Challenge is working in conjunction with the Sunburst Academy. Okay. And what that is it takes youths that are like from broken homes or just youths that need help. Yeah. Adulting is probably the best way to say it. Okay. Right? They send them to this program. It's free of charge. They cost nothing.
That's phenomenal, man.
It's fully supported by the county. It's fully supported by a bunch of different organizations. And what they do is it's actually on a military base. Wow. So it's actually at the Los Alamitos Joint Forces Training Base in Orange County. And I don't exactly know how long the program is. I know it's long. But the youths in the Sunburst Academy... they live in a barracks-style format where it's just a bay where it's like 30 people living in the same bay. Wow. They share the shower. They share the bathroom. I mean, it's not like one shower. It's several showers. Okay. They're not cramming 30 people into one shower.
I went to football camp. That's about as close as I can get to that.
But they the food's paid for. But basically what it is, it's military drill and ceremony, and they get the kids to get their act together, both through military discipline as well as like several other factors like team building and kind of just general cohesion. Once they graduate from the Sunburst Academy, then from what I understood, they graduate to the California Jobs Challenge. This is where they find a pathway. This is where they get their GED or high school diploma, and they find a job. So I think there's like 3 pathways. There's the automotive and there's another one I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh my God, they're going to kill me.
We'll put links. We'll put links in the bio.
But our security pathway is the newest one that they're adding.
Okay.
So it's going to be a 6.5 week program, and they're going to learn everything about security, right? They're going to learn the guard card, the batons. Basically, it's the exact same thing that I teach as my core business, but expanded out. So one of the things that's going to be expanded out in this 6.5 week program, because they want to draw people in, like especially the youths, right? To say, yes, I want to do this. I
probably couldn't have been convinced then, but I'd be convinced if I could go back and be my 17, 18-year-old self. I would definitely. I don't know how old the kids are, but that was
Well, I mean, part of the reason I think they brought it in was because I think the kids were like, I don't like either one of these pathways. What about a new one? Cool. So my whole goal is trying to make it fun. And one of the things I tell people, I just spoke with them last week, and I was saying, what are we going to do? And I said,
are you creating the syllabus kind of?
Yeah, the syllabus is kind of already created.
Cool,
I just got to expand it out. But one of the things is like, you got to do the guard card. You're going to do this. I mean, there is going to be boring classroom stuff, but there's also going to be the fun stuff. For example, anybody that goes to my course, y'all are getting pepper sprayed. And they're like, oh my God. You imagine these are like 17-year-olds going, I'm going to get pepper sprayed. And then you got like the military guys in the back going, oh, hell no. Because some of them have gone through it. They know exactly what it feels like. But it's not just getting pepper sprayed. It's going to be the legitimate pepper spray course where after they get pepper sprayed, they have to actually go through an obstacle course.
No way.
While pepper spray, so that imagine all that pain.
Wow, that's sick. I didn't even know that went on.
Yeah, that's usually what the police officers go through. So if you want to get certified, you gotta get pepper sprayed, and then you gotta go through an entire obstacle course. After you go through the obstacle course, then and only then do you get the water, and then it still burns, but it doesn't burn as much. And then there's going to be at the very end, there's going to be a week and a half executive protection training course.
Wow.
Where there's going to be like, you're talking about, trying to, what it's like to be a bodyguard, just like a very surface edge of it. We're going to involve military vehicles, Humvees, everything. We have so much support. It's funny.
Youths should have access to this. That's incredible, man. I'm very, very happy. Very happy for the program. I'm happy for the kids that the kids have this opportunity and this new part of the program is being added.
Absolutely.
Man.
I'm so excited to get this thing started, man. It's,
be fun,
I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, because this is like the biggest program I've ever done. But I mean, I just look at my business like everything I've ever done in my business is the biggest thing I've ever done. So
that's great, yeah, man. Yeah, and we'll keep that going, man.
Exactly.
I love that. I'm very happy that we were able to speak. I'm going to do a little bit of like a rapid fire type of thing.
Sure.
Ask you some quicker questions. So I don't know that this is going to be a weird one, but top few favorite guns to shoot. So it could be like
top few favorite guns to shoot. Well, you can't go wrong with the with the AR-15.
There we go.
Just because it's such a smooth weapon and there's really almost no kickback.
Yep.
I just recently bought an American Ruger. It's a .308 hunting rifle. Man, it's fun to shoot. Big kick, but fun to shoot. I love my 1911.
There we go.
Can't go wrong with 1911s. And the funny thing is, like, people say, "Well, what's the best gun? Glock this or." So don't get me wrong, Glock's a really good weapon.
A few.
But the thing is, like, for example, my favorite pistol would be the 1911.
Yeah.
I mean, people, maybe, a little fun fact, the reason why it's called the 1911 was because it was invented in 1911.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The original model was created before World War I. The mere fact that it stuck around for more than 100 years is a testament to how good the design was.
Wow. Yeah. Makes sense. Favorite sports team? Yeah. You a fan of any? Here we go.
I don't watch sports.
Okay. But like a hobby you're into besides fucking being a beast workouter?
I don't even work out as much as I used to. I've been so busy doing all this other stuff. I try to get a workout in every now and then. I try to work out every day, but I try to lift more. Hobby, I like going biking, actually.
Nice. All right, cool.
I like taking my bike from my area all the way down to Long Beach Pier.
Oh, my God.
Go to the Ballast Point, have a beer, and
there you go.
Ride back.
Yeah, get some creative juice. Love that. Favorite meal?
Chinese food.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It's everything. Chinese food. Yeah, I know I'm Chinese. I know. I get it. Fine.
Do you have a favorite music genre?
I like all forms, but my go-to is actually country.
Nice, I like country
and
too.
It's funny too because you're like, "Wait, you're Asian?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm very aware I'm Asian, right?" But it's kind of funny. The whole country thing started because I did spend 9 years in the military, and the military is primarily Caucasian.
Yeah,
I actually like country music. It has.
Who's your favorite artist? Do you have like an artist that you go to?
My first one was Lone Star. That's the one that got me into it. Lone Star, and then Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Brantley Gilbert.
Yeah, nice, cool.
Toby Keith is a good one.
Yeah, hell yeah. So this is a fun one. So someone from history you'd love to have dinner with.
U.S. Grant.
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna close out real quick. We'll tell the people where they can find you, and a little bit like that. Where's the Sentri Institute?
So Sentri Institute, you can find us at www.sentriinstitute.com. That's my dog. That's running on the camera.
This is Jet.
It's my
Hi,
service
Mr.
dog.
Jet. Yeah,
That's his butt.
Yeah, this is Jet. This is Jet's coolie. This is how Jet likes to hang
I guess
out.
he got tired of sitting down, so now he wants
I called them over.
Oh, you did? You called them over. But you can reach us at www.sentriinstitute.com. We are on Instagram, Sentri Institute Inc. SENTRI.
Yeah, we'll post
Institute
all these.
Inc. And give us a ring. You can find us on Google and Yelp. We're rated on both. Highly rated on both. So,
nice,
you guys want some lessons. You want to learn how to shoot. You guys want to learn how to manipulate firearm systems, various ones. We work with them all: rifles, shotguns, pistols. If you want to learn about security, about liability, about certain types of like self-defense laws, that's what we're here for.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out, Paul. This was huge.
All right, man.
Thanks a million times.
And the
Thank
dog
you,
just
Jet.
missed your mic.
It's okay, Jet. Thank you.